Encred is jolted awake by a commanding voice, frustrated as he recalls his demotion to leader of an intolerable group. Flashbacks of chaotic battles reveal his struggle against opponents, relying solely on relentless training despite lacking special powers. Amidst the fierce clashes, he fights with all his might, aware that his dreams of becoming a knight are slipping away. Once fueled by a burning desire, Encred now finds his aspiration distant and worn out. As he charges forward with determination, he is struck down, shattering his dream completely. Fatally wounded, he realizes his death is more pathetic than he imagined. As his life fades, a mysterious light hints at an unexpected twist observed by someone in the shadows. Drifting through a void, Encred jolts awake, irritated by reality and the bug buzzing around him. Experiencing déjà vu, he battles again, only to be struck repeatedly in a grim cycle of defeat. Each time, the pain and blood loss overwhelm him, marking yet another day in his endless loop of fighting, dying, and rebirth. A swift strike marks Encred's 17th death, and as blood spills from his wounds, regret fills his thoughts. Lying motionless on the battlefield, a mysterious voice questions his beliefs and challenges his resolve. Encred clenches his teeth, refusing to yield. He wakes up again, frustrated and disoriented, brushing off his comrades' teasing comments while recalling a haunting dream. Reflecting on his 17th corpse, he wonders how many more deaths he must endure, and questions if this cycle will ever end. Remembering his swordsmanship lessons from a mercenary who inspired his dream of knighthood, Encred feels a distant goal now within reach, but doubts his strength to achieve it. Ridiculed by mercenaries for aspiring to more than a follower, he refuses to let their taunts define him and believes hard work can shape his future. Despite setbacks, he fights fiercely, convinced his strength and resolve will help him overcome obstacles. However, hope begins to shatter after a duel with a 12-year-old boy who overpowers him, making Encred question his decade of effort. Training relentlessly, he pours his frustration and hope into each swing of his sword, vowing his efforts will pay off. As he realizes that death only makes him stronger, he faces his opponent with newfound determination, declaring, "Today, on my 18th try, I will survive." For the first time, Encred dodges an attack, striking back with all his might. His eyes glow with determination as blood splatters from his enemy. Though exhausted, he stands tall, ready to keep fighting. A dark scene unfolds as a voice urges him to give up. Kneeling and weakened, Encred clenches his fists and defiantly declares, "No!" With fierce determination, he vows never to submit, dodging enemy attacks with precision. Snapped back to reality by a call from his squad, Encred resolves to push forward, step by step. Crouching with intensity, he prepares for another challenge on his 22nd day, committed to facing the trial again, no matter the cost. Encred charges into battle once more, acknowledging this is his 33rd attempt. This time, the opponent's once unpredictable movements seem slower and clearer. As he faces a powerful slash, Encred plans his next move, determined to dodge before the sword can reach him. Yet his opponent's speed overwhelms him, forcing Encred to focus on survival instead of counterattack. Reflecting on his past as a mercenary, he remembers how protecting the weak aligned with his dream of becoming a knight. The villager's gift of a mysterious charm, believed to grant desperate wishes, makes Encred wonder if it's responsible for the repeated days and endless chances to achieve his goal. Facing a taunting enemy knight, Encred scoffs at the false mercy offered, accusing the knight of sadism. Undeterred, he prepares for battle, dodging attacks while recalling lessons from his mentor. As Encred requests to learn the heart of the beast technique, his mentor pushes him with harsh training, sparring fiercely as Encred tests his newfound strength. Despite his struggles, Encred grows stronger with each encounter. His mentor critiques his moves, reminding him to fight with confidence. Encred's past failures and moments of hesitation haunt him, but he knows the key is believing in his own ability. In battle, Encred faces brutal injuries and taunts of false mercy, but each defeat strengthens his resolve. By the 124th day, he refuses to be beaten any longer. He fights with unwavering determination, dodging deadly strikes and retaliating with precision. Covered in blood but unfazed by pain, Encred's laughter echoes as he stands victorious, finally mastering the lethal technique of his enemy. Encred pushes himself further, focusing his intent with precision and speed. His opponent braces for the attack, sensing the murderous intent. Though Encred's first stab fails, he remains determined. His opponent mocks his exhaustion, claiming tomorrow will be his last, but Encred reminds himself that the dead have no tomorrow. As Encred's pendant glows, signaling the cycle will reset, he prepares for the next challenge. Despite his companion's concerns, Encred reflects on his endless struggle. Grappling with doubts, he wonders if he'll ever escape the loop, but he refuses to give up. Facing an overwhelming enemy, Encred vows not to abandon his efforts. He recalls past battles, learning the importance of patience and precision. His body bears scars from previous deaths, but his resolve is stronger than ever. Each battle teaches him something vital, and his determination only grows. Encred's eyes glow with resolve as he faces a new enemy. His precise strikes begin to overwhelm his foe, despite their strength. Using the Valen mercenary sword technique, he turns the tide of the battle. With each attack, Encred grows more confident, his mastery of the stab technique flowing effortlessly. Charging forward, Encred shatters his opponent's sword, leaving them open for a final blow. His blade glows as he lands the decisive strike, ending the battle. Standing victorious, Encred whispers, "I win," as the battlefield falls silent. The battle rages on as Encred faces more enemies, countering their attacks with swift precision. Each foe is silenced as Encred presses forward, his determination unshaken. Amidst the chaos, Encred shatters the once impenetrable wall, symbolizing his hard-earned victory over countless challenges. As the battle climaxes, a shocking revelation stuns everyone. A foe reveals his true amphibian nature, leaving the soldiers bracing for even greater challenges ahead. The battle intensifies as a soldier, exhausted, faces the towering frog-like warrior. Though worn down, the soldier remains determined, while the warrior, confident, readies for a final blow. A fierce exchange ensues, with weapons clashing and sparks flying. Both fighters push their limits, neither willing to back down. The axe wielder swings with full force, but the frog-like warrior evades, countering swiftly. As the fight continues, the warrior taunts the soldier, questioning his resolve. Determined, the soldier prepares for a final confrontation, knowing the stakes are high. When the frog-like warrior attempts to flee, amid the chaos, a commanding voice calls for a retreat as the soldiers recognize they are overwhelmed. The battlefield is left in disarray as the fight ends, and an ominous voice echoes, warning that the challenges are far from over. The protagonist, determined to overcome obstacles, refuses to surrender to despair. Waking in the infirmary tent, he learns from Rem, his fellow soldier, that he was saved from near death. As they banter, the protagonist reflects on his survival and the weight of their situation. Later, Kreis and Jackson tease him about how close he came to death, but their conversation is cut short when Auden signals something outside the tent, creating a tense atmosphere. As night falls, Ragna joins the protagonist, sharing a casual conversation about their surroundings and the nearby mercenaries. The protagonist senses a commanding presence when a woman in full armor enters the tent. With piercing authority, she asks him about his squad's commander, leaving him momentarily caught off guard. The stern woman continues her inspection, focusing on a soldier and expressing displeasure at his lack of formality. The soldier nervously apologizes, realizing the importance of proper decorum. Meanwhile, the protagonist watches, contemplating the significance of her presence. The woman commends a soldier's recent performance but maintains an authoritative tone, expecting more in the future. When she asks for his name, another soldier awkwardly responds with a likely fake name, leaving the protagonist and his comrade uncertain. The protagonist, frustrated, clenches his fist, determined to improve. He reflects on his recent close call in battle, realizing he must train harder to avoid relying on narrow victories. As he prepares to train, another warrior advises him not to push too hard, but the protagonist insists it's necessary to improve his combat skills. He shares his ambition to become someone others can rely on, striving to achieve greatness. His companion is surprised by his knightly resolve, offering support and asking to be remembered as a friend when he becomes a knight. Later, as the protagonist reflects on his day, he feels dissatisfied with his routine of inactivity. Meanwhile, soldiers shout for Cyprus, the hero of the battlefield, raising tension. The protagonist suspects something strange is happening and becomes aware that the day feels like a repeating loop. A mysterious figure's voice taunts him, warning of another obstacle to come. Confused, he questions whether he's in a test or another challenge to overcome. He suspects a knight may be behind the recent events and resolves to investigate further. Suddenly, he feels the effects of a paralyzing poison, unable to warn anyone of the danger. Helpless, he watches as an assassin strikes down a comrade. Realizing there's a second assassin, the protagonist confirms his suspicions. The company leader is revealed to be behind the events, setting the stage for a future confrontation, leaving the story poised for more intense action.